What is up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Wednesday. It is Winning Wednesday, everybody. Hope you are having a good day so far. We're going to get things started here in just a second, but as you are tuning in, let me know how your day is going. Let me know how your day is going. Feel free, if you're watching this at a later time, hashtag replay so that way I know that you saw it. But what we're going to be talking about today is essentially show me your friends, I'll show you your future. Like, we've probably heard that quote before, but if you haven't, what I mean by that is it's kind of a popular quote. And a lot of times when people say that, they're like, you're a product of your environment. Like, who you surround yourself with is probably going to be like, it's probably a good reflection on kind of like the type of person that you are, who you are. Because if you're surrounding yourself or you hang out with people like we're a product of like our five closest relationships, right? Like we're a combination of our five closest friends. Like that's we've all heard those quotes before, probably in one form or another, but it's true. There is a lot of truth to that. There is a lot of truth to that in terms of your success. Um, Regardless of whatever your goals are, we're gonna keep this kind of like fitness or like nutrition or like you know uh, weight loss related, right? We'll keep it kind of in that context for the sake of this call or this live, but this applies to all your goals. Like if you want to get better at business, better start hanging out with business people. You want to get better at being good at art or being artistic, you better hang out with more people that are doing art and being artistic. You want to get better at playing instruments, you should probably hang out with people who also play instruments or have that like common interest. Because when we hang out with people, like we're taking it like we're giving to them, like, right, we're talking, we're hanging out, we're saying things to each other, we're conversing, hanging out, picking up on each other's you know uh, thoughts and words and things like that we're saying. But those thoughts and words and those conversations, they have a lot of power, and they make an impact on our lives. Like, who here, like, if you're watching right now, who here is, you probably experienced this at one point or another, but you've gone and hung out with some people. Maybe they weren't even people that you really knew, but one person was just really like sad or really like negative, right? And you're hanging out, you're trying to have a good time, and the person's just super fucking negative all the time. And they're just like talking about all the bullshit going on in the world. They're just really kind of bringing down the vibe of the conversation or the vibe of the party or the hangout or whatever it may be. Like, we've all been there, and maybe we've even been that person at some point in our lives. But when that happens, right, that person, you know, brings down the tone or the vibe or the liveliness of the conversation or the hangout. There's a reason for that. They're part of your environment, and they're impacting the mood or the vibe of that conversation. That same thing happens. Like, we've all been there. We've all, it's like, oh, I don't want to hang out with that person, right? Like, it's like you don't want to hang out with the sad person in the corner of the party. That doesn't sound fun. And so we've all been in that situation before where somebody has impacted the mood or the how the day played out or whatever it may have been. Same thing can be applied to your goals, right? If you're hanging out with people who don't give half a shit about personal growth, if you're hanging out with people who don't care about who don't care about reaching their goals, whether that be like losing weight or getting healthy or whatever it may be, and they're just going out and partying all the time, like, all the time, right? Like, everything's fine in moderation, but like, they don't care about that stuff, and you're hanging out with them all the time, chances are you're probably you're gonna stop caring about that stuff too, because we are a product of our environment. Show me your friends, and I'll show you your future. We've all been in that situation growing up where we probably like where our parents were like, we got like a new friend, or we started hanging out with a different crowd a little bit, and our parents are like, are you sure that you want to hang out with them? Are you sure, throwing up some red flags, and chances are, if you're hanging out with some of the kids who, didn't care about school or didn't care about, like their goals or success or like, getting to a higher level of academics or whatever it may have been, chances are, you probably started acting out a little bit, or you stopped caring as much because we want to as humans, we just want to hang, we want to fit in, we want to be a part of something, we want to be a part of a group or a tribe or whatever it may be. There is that like innate tribalism that a lot of people have built into them, and you can use that to your advantage, or you can, or it can help you or it can hurt you, right? It can help you or it can hurt you. And so a lot of times when we get stuck in these like echo chambers of like our own like bullshit, of our own like like bad habits, because we're hanging out with all these other people that have these same bad habits. You just like, whether that be like, eating shitty food, or maybe you're in a group of people who, whenever you're having a bad day, you just go and party and drink a bunch, or eat a lot of like shitty food, and like, that again, everything in moderation is okay. But when it becomes like a very regular thing, and that's like what like people like instantly kind of like divert to anytime bad things happen, guess what? You're building those habits, you're building those routines, and they're not good ones that are going to be conducive to your goals. So, you know, now that we've kind of established like, why, like, or how this works, right? Like, because like, we're a product of our environment. If we're hanging out with bad people, we're probably going to, become worse versions of ourselves. If we're hanging out with people who, don't care about, the goals that you care about, guess what? You're probably not, you're going to have a harder time sticking to those goals. You're going to have a harder time reaching those goals and doing the things that you supposedly want to do, because you're surrounding yourself by people who don't care about that stuff. And when people talk about, whenever you're hanging out with people and they're talking about these things and they're doing these actions that aren't in alignment with your goals, and saying these things that aren't necessarily in alignment with your goals, guess what? Their thoughts are now going to be in your head. Like, they're like if you're watching something or you're participating in something on a regular basis, it's impacting you, not only, maybe not on like a fully like conscious level, but on a subconscious level. Those people are making those impacts on your life. You know, if you're constantly listening to somebody talk about something in a negative light, or a negative thing, you're gonna be thinking in a more negative way more often than not, because you're exposing yourself to that all the time. You're absorbing that. You're taking that in. And so, be careful with that shit. That's kind of like my you know, word to the wise. Like, be careful with that shit. Be careful who you surround yourself with. Be careful what you're, taking in and absorbing on a daily basis. Whether that be, what content you're taking in, what conversations you're having, what people you let into your life, because it impacts shit a lot. And so, does that make sense though? If you're watching right now, like, let me know. Drop some fire in the chat if that makes sense. Let me know if you've experienced this yourself. And we've all been in that opposite situation, right? Where we go to, let's just, for like, to make it an easy example, like, let's say we're hanging out with a group of people, or we're at a party or whatever it may be, and you're hanging out with like a good crew of people, like everybody's in a good mood, everybody's having fun, like everybody's in a positive headspace, like just enjoying themselves. Guess what? You're going to be more likely to enjoy yourself too. Same thing applies to, if you want to get in shape, guess what? Start hanging out with people who are in shape, or who are trying to get in shape. If you want to lose weight, start hanging out with people who have lost weight in the past, or who are currently working towards losing weight right now, right? If you want to get stronger, start hanging out with people who care about strength training, who do that on a regular basis. You know, it's as simple as that. The hard part is actually finding people who have that common interest, who have that like level, because it's hard. I'm gonna be honest, it is hard, leaving a previous, because it can be scary, it can be uncomfortable, leaving a previous friend group, or like, hanging out with those people less and less, because they aren't in alignment with what you want for yourself. But the fact is if you want to reach that new level, if you want to get to, become that new version of yourself, or start to be like, to really step into your power with this new identity that you're trying to, achieve, you're gonna have to start hanging out with people who are like that. You got to be okay with, not hanging out with your old friends as much, if that's the case. It's not that they're, they're, and if they're not bad people, that's fine. Like, that's you don't have to stop hanging out with them entirely, but pay attention to who you're spending your time with the most. Pay attention to who you're giving your attention to, because that stuff's important. That stuff impacts us on a daily basis. It impacts our mindset. It impacts our actions. It impacts how likely we are to actually succeed and reach our goals. And if you want to succeed and reach your goals, you need to change up your environment. If shit's not working right now, your environment definitely is impacting that on a deeper level than you might realize. And so start to shift away from that. Start to work towards, hanging out with people who want to work on similar shit as you. And just to kind of like reiterate what I've said in the past, is like, that's why I freaking love not only my own mentorship program that I'm a part of, not my own, but the one that I'm a part of. Why I love that so much is because I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who want to fucking grow, who want to succeed, who want to help change people's lives for the better and impact them and impact the world in a deeper positive way than a lot of people that are in my life outside of that don't really vibe with or don't really care about that much. And that's why I love that so much, is because it is this place that is like an echo chamber for like positivity and growth and success. That's why I love the private group that I have, created for my clients and the community that we've fostered and have built and developed that culture of just like, like growth, like working towards, being better by the day, working towards being better with our nutrition, working towards being better with our workouts, working towards, leveling up our mindsets on a deeper level so that we can succeed and can actually, achieve these things. That's why I love it so much. That's why it's so important. It's just like layer after layer after layer of accountability and exposure and environment to reach your goals. Like, if you're hanging out with a bunch of people who are wanting and working towards similar things, who might also have some other things that are in common with you that you're trying to deal with on a day to day, but they're still being held accountable and working towards their goals with their nutrition or their mindset or their workouts. Guess what? You're going to probably be more likely to adhere to your own plan and adhere to your own goals. Honestly, like just to be straight up, guys. So it's one of those things where like think about that the next time that you're maybe you're feeling stuck, or maybe you're unhappy with where you're at in life right now, or maybe you're unhappy with how your goals are going. Like pay attention to do some sort of like self audit to see if like you're where are you spending the most time at, right? Like what are the conversations that you're having on a daily basis? Are they conversations that are going to be conducive to your goals? Are the actions that you're taking, that you're doing, like the people that you're hanging out with, are they supportive of what you're doing? Are they also kind of going along for the ride and doing it too? Because that's going to be really helpful long term. And that's what I would suggest you guys do is there's you don't even have to work with a coach or work with a community or anything like that to achieve this. Like if start going to a gym, like hang out with people who are going to the gym. If you don't like that aspect, like there's thousands of Facebook groups out there. Like if you're a mom that wants to get in better shape, type in moms who strength train, moms who lift weights, moms who want to lose weight, moms who whatever. If you're a dad, do the same thing. If you're a parent, there are parent support groups for fitness out there. Mine's one of them, but like, it's one of those things. Like there are tons of things out there. Like there are literally like fit dad gamer groups. Like if you like playing video games and you like being a dad and you're a dad, like that shit exists out there. Like there is a group for everything. There is a niche that fits your needs out there somewhere. Maybe it's mine, maybe it's not, but either way, like like actively looking for those opportunities and those environments, that's gonna give you a better chance at success. Because it's hard to make great strides towards your goals if your environment is every time you take one step forward, they're pulling you 2 or 5 or 10 steps back, right? It's hard. So do that for yourself. And I guarantee you, if you're surrounding yourself with people who are like-minded and wanting to achieve similar goals in your health and your fitness or your weight loss goals or whatever it may be, you're going to have a better chance at reaching your goals in the long term. So that's all I got for you guys today. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future, because it definitely impacts and it makes a big difference. So, work on crafting that environment, work on crafting that, like, that inner circle of yours. And if you surround yourself with like good people who, want similar things, you're going to have a better chance at reaching those goals. If you're surrounding yourself with people who don't give a shit about what you give a shit about, you're going to start giving less of a shit about what you originally cared about or what you set out to do. So don't let that happen to yourself. Let's go. Let's grow. It's time to go. Other than that, though, I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Let me know your number one takeaway in the comments down below. If you got value from this, feel free to give this video a like. Feel free to share it. Helps other people see it. Drop a comment. Also helps. And I hope that you guys got some value out of this. So that's all I got for you today. Happy Winning Wednesday, and I will talk to you all later. Bye, everybody.